Hey everybody, welcome back to another Classics Are Better. I'm Travis, and today we're talking gas pedals, my friends. So more specifically, I am finishing up my LS swap here on my 66, and the gas pedal that came with it is drive-by-wire. It does not fit in there very well, so we're gonna make it fit, guys. Let's go. So as I was saying, y'all, the plan for today is figuring out how to get my drive-by-wire gas pedal from my 03 Suburban donor to fit in my 66 C10. But I think we can get this figured out. Please forgive some of the wiring. Again, doing the LS swap, so it's a little crazy right now with two harnesses. Anyway, we got a brake pedal and our accelerator pedal right here. So it would normally sit on the old school throttle, you know, and it's kind of working this range right here. Well, new motor is a drive-by-wire setup. I got this awesome bracket to fit because this is totally not flat at all. As you can see, it's kind of a concave area. But this will bolt in, if I can get all that wiring out of the way, will bolt in essentially right here to the firewall. And you can see my problem is that the gas pedal is actually a little further out than the brake pedal and really close to it as well. So it needs to be way farther down here. So we're going to have to do a little hacking and cutting on this thing, get it to fit. Here are the parts I'm going to be using for this little project. So use all grade 8 hardware if you can get it. You want to be safe. This is the gas pedal after all. I did get the pedal and the support separated so you can see how sturdy this thing is. I'll put a link in again below for any of you guys specifically with 64 to 66s. But they sold adapters for 60 to 63 too. But anyway, it's pretty sturdy and solid. Gives you a nice flat base. Again, here is the pedal. There's all kinds of ways that people adjust this online, whether cutting this off, replacing it with a rod, bunch of V-cuts, whatever. The way we're going to try today is something I saw in an Ugly Truck Experience, and we're going to try and use a 5/8 rod and some big old grade 8 nuts. Use my welder and some ingenuity. We'll see how we do on this thing. I do want to say before we start everything that if you're trying this with your gas pedal and something goes horribly wrong, they're pretty cheap from a junkyard just because these came on every kind of Silverado, Suburban, Tahoe, etc. And they actually sell aftermarket gas pedals that you can use that are fit to purpose for make and model from a lot of different companies. But what's the fun in that, right? Let's get working on this thing. Alright, so the idea here is I want this big flat spot to drill a hole in for my rod. So I'm going to measure me a little cut line, or draw me a little cut line. There we go. And hopefully that should have plenty of room for me to go in through here, and if I need to go over here, I ended up cutting that 36-inch 5/8 threaded rod down to a smaller section here, like 7-8 inches, just so it's a little bit more easy to manage inside the cab and while I'm doing all this with the different pieces. Next thing I'm going to do is drill out the holes I need for this rod to go through the pedal assembly and the pedal itself. Alright, so we're going to be looking approximately like this for our drilling positions. So good news, got everything drilled, nice cut and clean right here for my threaded rod. And then the threaded rod itself, I was able to kind of get these together and see that it was still way too long, so I'm going to go ahead and cut all this off and just start working with a little bit here. So now that I got my rod cut down, I'm going to go ahead and start putting stuff together. Put this right through the bottom here. Go in on the other side. So, looks like that. So far, so good. I'm gonna get another one on. Get my pedal in. Take another bolt. Alright, so once you get it all together, it's basically like this. These you want to get really tight here at the beginning, and then leave this kind of loose and adjustable, and then that way you can kind of go side to side, and then up and down where you want the pedal. Now I'm going to go ahead, this has the spring in the back that keeps it up from the side, so I'm going to zip tie this down right now, just to kind of get a different angle. And then once I get this right where I want it, I'll take it back out, lock it down real tight with the nuts, and then weld this in place. So this is where I ended up, y'all. I turned this around. It actually gave me a lot more clearance to come down in here instead of bottoming out on this side. I just kind of have to figure out a way to flip my actual pedal on here or whatever. And then up here, this ended up working out really good. So I got both of my grade 8 nuts going through this 5/8 rod. Everything's nice, stiff, and secure. I got it tightened up, and I'm gonna take it out of here and weld it up after showing you guys, and then figure out what I want to do to get a pedal on here. But this should work. To get the pedal to fit properly with the reversed bottom part, you can see originally they have this notch cut in here, so I ended up having to cut kind of my own little notch on this side or whatever. But the grinder does all. All right, and so here it is, all done. I did end up having to do quite a bit of grinding on the lower arm of the pedal arm here. I ended up flipping the gas pedal arm around and then reversing the sides of the pedal here at the bottom, but it ended up giving me a lot of clearance because normally this bend in is a bend out, and it was getting into the firewall over here. But again, just use a stock 03 gas pedal, drilled a 5/8 hole in the top, use some 5/8 steel rod, use some grade 8 nuts on there to get everything positioned, cinched in really tight, welded it all up. I used a plate, again I forgot the name of the company, but I'll put the info in the description below. This little adapter plate here. And then I did end up having to use a bolt with some washers and a nut right here to kind of shim this out a little bit, just to kind of position the pedal because it was still a little bit too close to the brake pedal. But everything is in. It is working really good. I have full travel here. I don't hit here, and it goes full throttle up at the top. So I'm going to say this is a win. Hopefully this helped out some of you guys out there on the interwebs doing your LS swap with your donor pedal on the cheap like me. Again, make sure you use good hardware. Take your time with everything. Weld it up because it is a safety thing because it's your gas pedal. But other than that, send it. So I just want to say thank you guys again for watching. If you got some benefit from this, please consider leaving me a like or a sub. Totally helps me out with the YouTubes. But get out there, get wrenching, my friends. I'll catch y'all on the next one.